Hello and welcome to another episode of Northside Now. This is the podcast where we take you on a tour through all the ministries and the latest happenings around Northside Church to keep you better connected with your church family. My name is Patrick, and with me as always are my co-hosts, the munificent Glenn Miller and the propitious Kevin Bryant. And joining us later will be the effulgent Kevin Glenn.
Now, did you go to the dictionary and look up synonyms?
No, I was trying to come up with like the most ridiculous adjectives I could find.
Those are the high point words in Scrabble.
Yeah. Cat, Q-A-T.
Very nice. It's good to see you guys again. Welcome back, Glenn.
Well, thank you. I'm over here looking up what munificent means.
Wasn't that a Disney movie?
It says of a gift.
Oh, no, wait, that was
sum of
Maleficent.
money, larger or more generous than is usual or necessary.
Wow.
Yes, I'm back.
I tried to be nice with my adjectives.
That's awesome.
Not anything like the Luther. What was the Luther? What was it called?
The Martin Luther like insult generator.
Insult generator.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, Glenn.
It is good to be back. It's funny. Those were the first two podcasts I had missed since beginning, even the practices and everything. You know, I didn't need a break from the podcast, but I am glad I took a little time off because I did need a time off. And so even in the past, when I've taken time off, we've recorded around that. Right. So, man, and I listened to them, and y'all did a great job. Way to go, guys.
Well, we missed you, but you had some fun, I hear.
Yeah, I did. I felt, besides feeling like a proud papa out there listening to y'all, I got to hang out with my grandson, Clay.
That's always fun.
Got to hang out with him and the fam for a while, and it was fun. And we broke into a cotton field and took some pictures. That was pretty exciting. The photographer kept looking around like she was afraid somebody was going to come run her over with a tractor or something. I kind of felt maybe the same way. So, but the things my daughters will talk me into doing are pretty funny. So, but no, good time off and ready for a fun fall and holiday season.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So,
do y'all have any fun fall/holiday plans?
Well, we will make our annual pilgrimage to Texas to get my passport stamped so I can come back to the United States after Thanksgiving. But no, to go see the kids. Jake will be deploying soon in December, and Celeste and Clay will be moving to live with us. And so we are going to get to do with them down there Thanksgiving and Christmas together. And so that's going to be kind of exciting to be able to do that before he leaves. And
for sure.
So yeah, that's pretty much our Thanksgiving, and then Christmas will be here around the house and doing that thing.
Yeah, we're going to actually, I think, probably do a little bit of traveling, which is normally what we do, see family in different parts of the country. So that'll be exciting after not really having done that for a while.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're just going to take it one day at a time, I guess.
Yeah. Basketball season's about to start up here for the youth group.
Yes.
The Mighty Purple Penguins
We'll take flight once more.
Or attempt to.
Getting ready for their migration to the championship once again, hopefully. Or we might just have a lot of fun this year.
So who came up with Purple Penguins?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. We came up a long time ago. I don't know who the original Purple Penguin inventor was. I don't know who was the first one to coin.
It's been a long time.
Very long time. I've been with them for a really long time, and it may have been before I even got here. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
It may have been. It was probably around there with like Millie and Jesse Spann.
Yeah. Libba.
Spann.
I think Libba was part of that first
Libba,
group.
Murphy.
Wow.
Yeah. But it goes back to like Jessica Ashley and stuff too.
Yeah.
So
they were all about the same.
Yeah. So I think it was in that zone.
Yeah, because remember the guys tried to come up with their own name.
Oh,
and
they were never good at it.
It never worked.
Silver Toasters.
Yeah, Silver Toasters was probably the closest, but that only lasted for a year or two. So,
and there has been talk lately about the boys being also called the Penguins. But I'm not sure the girls are going to
let that happen.
So I'm interested to see what happens there. But yeah, church league basketball in Jackson, Tennessee is unlike anything I've ever seen anywhere else, and so it's pretty fun. Pretty dangerous too.
Well, I think I have at least recognized it. I don't know that it's actually different than any previous year, but the day after Halloween, I've seen my first Christmas commercial.
Oh,
yes.
And actually, as soon as the floodgates were open, I've seen several since then.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple, and the kids were telling me last night, because honestly, I just don't listen to local radio that much any longer. I do occasionally, but not very often, that there's actually Christmas songs on local radio.
Really?
That they've heard. That's what they told me last night.
Oh yeah, they start thawing out Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
About the beginning of October, so that right after Halloween she's ready to sing. So
Yeah, I was a little surprised to hear that, because used to it was way closer to Thanksgiving. But
Right.
the kids were telling me that last night, pretty hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Interesting.
I mean, I know there is snow in various parts of the country,
Yeah.
but I saw snow on the commercial on TV. And so you know what that means?
Yeah.
Hallmark
Hallmark movies are
is
here.
back.
oh,
You know what?
there's actually one Hallmark movie that's coming out next. Well, I guess as the listening of this weekend, that is starring Bruce Campbell, and I'm very excited.
Really?
You know, we've always wanted, or at
And
least
Peter-
Does it take place in Miami?
And Peter Gallagher. No, it's
well, and Patrick's always wanted to do like a movie breakdown podcast.
yeah.
always.
What if
Yeah.
we did a Hallmark Christmas?
I'd be down.
movie
I
breakdown?
will say there's already a podcast that does that.
I know, but
they're
it's
called
not
like the Hallmark guys or something.
It's not
like
from
that.
us, though.
That's true.
We could do a segment.
I mean,
yes.
you need to hear our take on these things.
We could do a segment.
Yes.
You could put together the assignments in advance, and we all have to watch it, and then we
Yeah.
have a little
All right.
segment.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I'm down.
But me too. Because I actually watch a bunch of these. I don't watch them all, but I watch a bunch of them.
I don't usually, so I'm gonna have to.
Well, they're on at my
make
house.
a priority.
I don't have much choice. So
And it could just be Hallmark. It could be other things.
yeah,
too.
because Lifetime does it.
Lifetime original
several
movies.
There's several of them that do the Christmas thing. So I think even Netflix puts some out nowadays.
Okay.
So,
Basically, just like those kind of cheesy holiday movies.
yeah. And speaking of cheesy and Netflix, I heard this last night for the first time. Netflix is coming out with a gaming system, or games.
Oh, really?
Netflix games. I think there's 6 games based on Netflix shows.
Okay.
The Stranger Things kids are one of the first ones.
All
Is
right.
Squid Games going to be an actual game?
Probably.
Probably eventually. I don't know if it's one of the original 6 that they're going. I heard that this morning, I think, for the first time.
The insurance
check
is
that
going to
out.
have to be sky high.
So yeah, look at all these great ideas we've got.
I know,
See?
man.
So I'm thankful for
The
these great
money maker.
ideas.
Yeah. What are you thankful for in November?
Yeah, these great ideas.
Great
Well, my
ideas.
first one.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe there's a few other things we're thankful for. What do y'all think?
Let's talk about it. Take it away, Glenn.
All right. So what are y'all thankful for? I mean, we got past Para Northside activity in October. So now we're at Thank a Lot of Somebody November.
Thank a lot of somebody November.
So what are y'all thankful for this year? I mean, as you know, seems like we're starting to push out of COVID.
I'm thankful that
Hardcore.
the weather's getting cooler.
It has done that.
Yeah. I don't like hot weather. I don't like bugs. So I'm really
So camping and being in the woods is not your thing.
no. And and this past Sunday is my favorite day of the year because I get an extra hour of sleep. So this is like
no
this is prime time for Patrick.
negative Ghost Rider.
Although the Sunday before that was pretty special, I must admit, seeing Patrick dressed up.
That was equally disturbing.
I think that's probably the most disturbing costume I've ever worn.
I think
And
that took courage, and I was very impressed.
And what is it with you and your brothers dressing as women, specifically girls?
We're not going to get into that on this
Okay.
podcast.
But it was appropriate for Para Northside activity.
Yeah.
So
Lots of nice, colorful things, blues and lavenders, and
all my primary colors.
yeah. Well, and your brother too was very colorful.
Yeah. Well,
but the time change for people like me and Pastor Kevin, who grew up south of here, in the real South, not up here in Yankee Land, where the sun is out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
4 o'clock's just way too early to get dark. Just tough.
Yeah, that's been and my cats. My cats are tripping just because that's when I swear they can tell time, or they could tell time. Now it starts getting dark, and they're like, "Hey, it's time to feed us. And I'm like, no, it's not time to feed you yet. And they have a schedule where, you know, when I get up in the morning, they know it's time for the morning scoop.
Yep.
So, all right, cool. And then when it gets dark, evening scoop. Well, it's getting dark at 4. So they're, and then about 8, that's when they want a little treat, you know. So we have the little cat treats. And so it's all messed up now. They want dinner at 4, and they're wanting snack at 5:30. And
wow,
so much stress.
Sounds like me.
First world problems, big time. Yeah.
I'm ready for a snack right now.
Yeah.
Who else? What else? What are some other things we're thankful for this year?
How much time do we have?
Yeah, that's good.
Last year was a very rough year for us. Not only because of COVID and a couple of our family members got that and still dealing with the symptoms and long-term effects of that. Also, we talked a lot last year about, I guess this year really, about mental health, and that's affected our family tremendously this year and last year. So I'm just thankful that we're kind of coming out of that season a little bit and finding out what new normal might look like. So I'm thankful that God gave us the strength to endure through that and is showing us what the plans are for the future. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to be in the spot where we are at Northside. Yeah. And for us, having been gone for a long time and then coming back, reconnecting has really been good and getting involved. And we just were blessed to be able to go down to Rifa and serve in the soup kitchen this week. Yeah. Tremendous place. Of course, been around for a very long time, but it's just good to see people serving others and it really making a difference. And so that's encouraging. I think when we think about today's world and all of the problems and things going on, that all we can do is just kind of serve in the circles we're at right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's one thing that we can do and we will continue to do as a family for us specifically, but big shout out to Rifa and all the things they do. And there's tons of great organizations like that in Jackson. So, but I'm thankful for that.
Well, I'm thankful for that Kevin's here.
Yeah.
And that we got some change and some life going on. It's exciting. I recently had breakfast with some other youth workers in town and just listen to them talk. You know, most of them are talking about, hey, we're getting back out of COVID and everything's good. And you know, some of them are just kind of, it's status quo. We're just kind of walking through and they look at me and say, hey, man, we got a lot going on. We got this going on. We got that going on. And you know, so it's exciting to be in a church with some excitement about a future and stuff like that. So we're excited for that. Thankful that that's taking place. Our family had a big year as well, you know, with cancer invading the younger versions of our family.
Right.
Getting that beat up on and out of the place for now. And just having grandkids and all kinds of stuff. It's a fun time. And so very, very blessed. Just thankful for all the blessings that are very evident and easy to see and the ones that are simple. I mean, that we just kind of tend to walk through sometimes. So for me, I echo a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Serena and I and Cameron, I feel like grateful is an understatement, but really grateful to be here, to have found and been found by Northside, you know, to been led together. I was actually talking to one of our newest members last night who kind of a similar journey. They had left the Baptist church as well, and were kind of in that a little bit of a spiritual limbo, kind of felt like spiritual orphans because it's like, is there a church that doesn't swing so far to the left that anything goes and doesn't swing so far to the right that, you know, other types of anything goes? You know, there's fundamentalism on the left and the right. And is there a spiritual home we can find? And Serena and I were wondering the same thing. And so, you know, we were just kind of having our own little Thanksgiving powwow there last night because they made their way to Northside and just as, you know, surprised and grateful and everything as we were. Like, hey, wow, this place exists. And it's great. So, but yeah, I'm like you, Glenn. I think there's a I can't wait for 2022. I really think the next couple of years are, a lot of things changing, but good things, good changes and good progress. And I'm excited. So I'm really grateful for that. Got some friends coming to visit. My in-laws are coming to town. So it's feeling normal where, you're having people over, having people come by, having people visit. So, and that's been a long time for my group. It's been a long time since we felt at home.
Yeah. Is this the first time they're coming to West Tennessee to visit you here in Jackson since you've moved?
Yeah.
So you get to go show them all the Jackson things.
That's right.
Are you making a list?
We are. And my father-in-law and mother-in-law, they like different things.
Yeah.
So my mother-in-law really likes going antiquing. So there's a lot of cool places around here with a lot of old cool stuff. And so Serena's figuring that out. And my father-in-law, he really likes good food. And so, definitely got to take him to Old Country Store. Yeah. Because that's a staple here.
Yeah.
But so I've got a list of things. Keep them occupied. But super grateful for all that. Grateful for Northside being here and so many stories that I could go into just in the journey of getting here to Jackson, and then how we got our house, just all kind of really cool stuff. But grateful for all of it.
Well, man, y'all gave like real answers. I said I'm grateful for it getting colder outside.
That's real.
I feel like I need to amend my answer. Yeah.
You can go again.
but you are a timber maniac. So
I am.
That's what we would expect.
Even though he doesn't like the woods.
Well, I guess I should probably say that I'm grateful for, I'm newly married, so I'm grateful for my wife.
Right. Yeah.
And as of the release of this podcast or this episode, I will have been at Northside for 1 year.
Hey,
all right.
I'm very grateful to be able to work in a place that I feel like I'm able to give back. So,
and the podcast is right at
rocking and rolling.
Yeah, right at a year old as well.
We're approaching
very close. So get ready. We know tell them what kind of celebration we're going to have.
This is what, episode 46
or 7?
46, I think.
Yeah.
And we haven't missed a week yet.
Wow.
So
that's great.
Through snowstorms and everything like that.
Hey, speaking of podcasts, I'm going to be listening to the podcast because I was late yesterday. Well, we're recording this on Thursday, so this would have been Wednesday or last Wednesday if you're listening to it. But so you can go back and listen to Pastor Kevin's FAQ, which takes place on Wednesday nights, but it's a podcast and talk about lots and lots of cool thought-provoking questions there. And you can do that through the Northside app.
Yep.
Right. So we haven't really talked too much about the app, but there is an app. We've sort of talked around it a little bit, but you can also find it anywhere else you can find podcasts, but it's FAQs with Kevin Glenn. And it is really thought-provoking and just interesting. I've heard several people remark about, I just didn't really ever think about it that way, or nobody ever told me this, or I'm thinking about it differently than I ever have before. That answers a question that I've had for years and never really could find an answer. So not saying that all your questions of life will be answered necessarily, but I think that it's definitely worth a listen if you're interested in podcasts and have a little bit of time, because it will stretch your mind and stretch your understanding of Scripture in various different pieces and parts of it. And isn't that sort of what we're supposed to be about as we grow and mature, is getting closer to Christ? Not only in terms of distance and years, but also in maturity and understanding. And so that's what I found very interesting about it. And I'm thankful for that, because that's something I really needed too in a church setting.
Yeah.
So,
well, not only the FAQs series, but also his Credo series that he's doing on Sunday mornings.
Right.
And I've been putting together those bumper videos, which have been really interesting to see some people's takes. But I thought, well, Glenn actually had the idea that maybe we could talk about some of those questions that we've asked in the bumper videos.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
So the first question that
hang on, let me say this first.
Okay, go for it.
Just another little gratefulness sliver is, the fact that the questions last night were what they were, it's because for the first time, people started writing questions in.
Yeah.
Because what I'd been doing before is saying, well, any questions on the sermon? Cricket. Okay, well, I'd go into some, there you go. Yeah. It sounded like a bird.
Yeah, kind of.
But no, I had some really good questions written in. And yeah, we had fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had fun. So yeah, make sure you go back and listen to that because I only got to 2 of about 6 questions from last night. And I'll pick up the rest of them. But yeah, go ahead, Patrick. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's all good. So the first question that I asked in those bumper videos that I thought we could kind of talk about was, what does it mean to believe in something?
I think that's different than believing something.
Mm-hmm. How so?
If you believe something is true versus you're willing to go farther than that, you're willing to stake the consequences of your life or something on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I believe that, my phone exists, but do I believe that my life is based on my phone or something? Well, maybe, depending on what it is, if I'm waiting on a very important text or something else. But to me, so words are important, and they all mean a little bit something different. So I would say believing in something is something you believe is true and that guides your thoughts or other
I feel like you kind of like stick some of your identity is in that to a degree. It's like to believe in something feels more like I'm now connecting myself to that thing. I don't know. I'm yoking myself to it.
I think yoking is a good word.
Yoking
with an L.
I was only yoking.
It's like staking a claim in the West. You're putting some of you behind that. That this is my belief.
Well, I think believing in something to me is almost like identifying the central nervous system of your spirit. It's the thing that's going to send all the little nerve endings, the touchy-feelies, the whole what makes me act, what makes me react. It's that thing, because when you believe in something, especially if you believe in it hard, then it affects your entire life. And, we're here very close to Veterans Day, and remembering all those that have served, a lot of them believe in something so hard they're willing to put their body on the line in order to stand up for that, that belief in the land of the free, whatever it is for them, their family, whatever is their God for some of them. So for me, I think it's that essential piece in our lives. The people who don't believe in something, I don't believe in nothing. Well, for me, you have to believe that something may potentially exist for you to say, I don't believe in nothing. So you do, dude. Sorry.
Actually, you're saying I do believe in nothing.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So
I don't know. Rev Kev, you want to give us the actual answer?
No. Where I was wanting to go whenever I did that message on belief, the thesis of it was everybody believes something. Even people like you said, Glenn, I don't believe in nothing. Actually, well, you would be saying I believe in the belief in nothing.
Yeah.
So everybody has a belief, and what those things are is those are the either statements, philosophies upon which we base our life. And upon which, we're giving meaning to something. We consider something about life meaningful. And so we're going to arrange our life around that. We're going to make our decisions based on that. We're going to treat people based on that. And so the question then becomes, what's the validity? What's the consistency of that? Yeah. So, like I said to my friends that I've got, really close friends that continue to be atheists and everything to this day. I love them to death. And, we laugh and have a good time and everything. And then when we get into this stuff, it's I don't let them get away with that posture of, well, Kevin, you're a person of faith. Well, you are too.
Yeah.
Everybody is and that's really what I mean by everybody believes something. Everybody lives by faith.
Yeah.
Your faith is in something or someone. Even if you say, everything about what I give meaning to is coming from within me. Okay. Then you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself. And so every decision about what is right, wrong, what is valuable, not, what's beautiful, what's ugly, all that, you're basing that on something that can't be put into a test tube and proven scientifically. So it's a statement of faith. So that's kind of what I think belief is. Those things that we base our life on one way or another.
Yeah.
Well, the second part of that question that I asked for that same week was, how much do you think someone's belief affects their life?
Well, I think potentially totally. I mean, if they really believe in it strong enough or in someone strong enough, it totally affects their life. I mean, it should, it should completely.
I think that's the difference between the believing in and just believing something.
Yeah,
when you believe in something, it affects your life. You live your life differently based on that belief.
I think it directly affects their life, mainly because, and I'm not talking about what they profess to believe. There's a difference in what one professes to believe, and then you look at their life. If you want to know what somebody really believes, look at their decisions. Look at what they do. If someone really values something, look at how they spend their time. I value my family, but I'm never with them. Then you don't value your family.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
I've heard that somewhere.
For even those people that say that they just do whatever feels right at the moment, which can be 180 degrees from what they decided previously, right?
Yeah.
They're still basing that on sort of, maybe lack of a better word, the sanctity of themselves. Whatever they feel must be right. Whatever, some people will say, well, that's just the power of the universe telling me, flowing through me, and whatever decision feels right is because it feels right, it must be right.
Yeah.
And so even when they say, well, I don't believe in God, but they're believing in themselves.
Yeah.
So I do think that whatever you hold deepest in your deepest part of yourself does affect your decision making.
Yeah, and Kevin, was talking about, how you act, what you do. People always make that same thing with, where do you spend your money? You look at your checkbook kind of thing. Where are you putting your effort? Where are you volunteering at? And what are you volunteering for? Or what do you? It directly affects everything, I think.
Well, because our society is really organized around money in some ways.
Yeah.
Right. So it is important in terms of how the world works. And so when you have something that's important, you tend to either at least think more about the decisions involving that thing or give a little more weight to it. So wherever you are spending your money really does reflect on what decisions you think or what choices you think are important. And then that goes back to, okay, how do you determine what's important to you?
Yeah.
And then that's based on your values and your beliefs and those kinds of things. So I think it does affect everything you do.
Faux show.
So I guess the moral of the story is we all believe in something, and it does affect your life.
Yeah, I think it does. And
yeah.
So it does matter.
It does, yeah.
What you believe in.
Yeah.
And
so make sure you're putting your faith in the right things.
Well, yeah, then it goes back to, okay, so for those of us either struggling with belief in God or would say, no, I don't believe, then how do you deal with this question of, the only way to God is through Jesus, and what happens after you die, which is a similar situation to a podcast I was listening to recently, the Bible Project.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've ever heard any of their podcasts, they go really deep into the scriptural universe, so to speak. And so it was interesting to hear them talk about what the Bible says about what happens. And they got into the concept of heaven and, is it our real body? Is it a spiritual body? A very interesting question, but I think all of us at some point in our lives will consider that.
Sure. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Right? You might consider it early in your adolescence and then come to the conclusion, well, whatever you decide about your faith or whatever. But I think we all come to terms with our mortality at some point.
Yeah. It's a bit of existentialism.
Right. And so it's worth talking about and really searching for what gives your life meaning. And for me, that's belief in Jesus, and the Christian life has really given me so much meaning throughout my life.
Yeah.
And it helps me make sense of the sort of negative sad times, but it also helps me enjoy the happy, joyous times even more. So we're talking a lot about belief and things, but that's what it means to me.
Yeah. And if you're not sure what a bumper video is, if you've been watching online recently, there's been a little video right before the sermons, and this is you've seen a lot of our laity, folks from the church that you recognize, or maybe not recognize because they go to another service, but I think most of them have been there for a minute, so you may recognize them. But these are the questions they're answering, and they're good. Those people are doing a great job at answering them too.
Doing a better job than I have.
So check those out, on the app or wherever. But yeah, so what does it mean to believe in something, and how much do you think someone's belief affects their life? If you would like to send us your answers to the podcast at northsidejackson.com or on our Instagram, that'd be awesome. We'd love to hear those and share them if you don't mind us sharing them. But definitely give us a holler on that.
For sure.
Well, my brain's a little mushy down thinking about what I believe in.
I'm starting to second guess myself.
Do I really believe?
Well, I've struggled a long time with people who say, I don't believe anything. I'm agnostic. I'm atheist. I'm this, I'm that. Yeah. And to me, it's always been the thing of you have to acknowledge that something might exist in order for you to deny it.
Being an atheist takes more belief in a way.
Yeah.
Because you can't, I don't know, by the scientific method, prove one way or the other that anything does exist. And so to say you don't believe anything exists is the same leap of faith that you say that something does exist. Mm-hmm. And so,
and there's lots of words in the Bible that mean a lot to all of us, right? But the words that Jesus told Thomas have really pulled me through a lot of things. Blessed are those who have not seen but yet believe, Thomas. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just take that very personal and just like, thank you, Jesus, for saying that.
I've got a cross that hangs on my wall. It's got the 2 Corinthians that says, for we walk by faith, not by sight.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me that when I went through confirmation, and it has been like hanging on my wall ever since. And so it's a key thing for me. I see it all the time.
So the people who are either atheist or agnostic or whatever, why do you think that they hold that so strongly? Where do you think they got to that point of view?
I know for some people that I know personally, it's a rebellion thing because they were hurt by church people or a church or someone who wasn't even churchy, quote unquote, but they were religious. And so they thought, if that's what religion and that's church, then I don't want anything to do with it. And there's no way. You hear the old saying, my God or a God wouldn't allow this bad thing or that bad thing. And, part of that's, I get it to a little bit of a point, but a big chunk of that's just poor education.
Yeah.
And knowing what really is
I think the reason a lot of people, like you said, aren't Christian is because of other Christians.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of times people are the biggest stumbling block because they see other Christians, whether they're being hypocritical or judgmental or whatever it is, which we all have a tendency to do sometimes. Sure. But if that's the example, then I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But I think it does kind of come back to that poor education.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying I have all the answers or we have all the answers, but.
Well, and I think the church needs to be better at saying, no, this is not perfect. No, this is not 100%. No, this is not exactly, it's not exactly the same every time. There's going to be some changes. People are, I think we just need to say a lot better. And I think the church probably is getting better at doing that. And I say the church is in the general of saying, no, you don't have to get right or perfect to come to Jesus. We're all messed up. So come on over here and be messed up with us,
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, we're far from perfect on this podcast, totally.
Yeah.
I speak for yourself.
Okay, I am far from perfect. But I was thinking the same thing. The folks that I've known over my life, and we've had some significant conversations about it, is that they have been, there's something, either they've seen or heard someone talk about or directly experienced that turned them off to either Christianity or a church or that kind of thing. And so it's really, for me, I take that to heart and really try hard to think about, okay, what I'm doing and what I'm saying, how does that affect other people? I mean, I go back to the verses in Romans where it's talking about, don't pass judgment on another person. You don't be a stumbling block for another brother, kind of thing. I don't want to get in the way. I don't want me to get in the way of a relationship that somebody might have with the Savior of the world. And that's kind of a big deal when it matters for eternity. You know?
And maybe it's too that word witness that we've really misused and use it more like, I witnessed this person, and no,
you preached at that person.
Exactly.
That person.
We kind of talked a
just
little
go
bit
live.
So we kind of talked a little bit about that last week when we were talking about how do you talk to somebody, that you completely disagree with on certain things. And so if you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to last week's because it was a really good conversation too.
Good stuff.
What's going on?
So, Patrick, what do we have coming up anytime soon here around Northside?
Well, the big thing during the month of November is the Share the Warmth coat drive.
Oh, yeah.
So we're accepting all different sizes of children's coats, all different colors, with or without hoods. We're also taking toboggans and scarves and things like that. And it's for the the public school kids around our community that may not be as fortunate to have everything to stay warm.
Yep.
And you can bring those up here to the church, leave them at the church office or in the mission bin.
Yeah.
So that would be greatly appreciated. And then I guess other big news, we have an app.
Hey!
So I've been, tell everybody about it. You can download it on, any app store, on Apple TV and Roku devices as well. So you can stay up to date.
Yeah.
You can watch the live services or you can watch previous services. Yeah. So
as opposed to, logging into Facebook or those kinds of things.
Yeah, we're trying to kind of get away from Facebook. So tell everybody
where Facebook is our main.
Yeah,
main
Facebook
thing.
right now is where everybody's been watching, and we're going to keep doing Facebook, and so that'll be a secondary thing if people want it. But we're trying to shift main focus to it'll be on the app, on the Apple TV, Roku, and it'll also be on the website now. So you can watch live on the website as well.
That's cool.
A lot of churches are having conversations about we're moving out of COVID. Do we keep live streaming or not? We were live streaming years before COVID came along.
Right.
And so,
granted, COVID kind of helped us take our live streaming
to another level. Yeah.
But honestly, Rev Kev and I have had more conversations about how to take it even further.
Yeah,
so it's just one more way to reach out, and share the love beyond the borders of our community and the people that come into the building, Yeah.
And I do have an announcement that is not necessarily the greatest news, but it is an announcement because a lot of us on staff have been asked this a lot lately. We will not be having the Thanksgiving breakfast this year.
I wondered about that.
Not quite ready to put 900 people in a room and all eat together.
I'm really bummed out about that.
Me too. I really thought this year we might be able to pull that off, but no, just for saying, I think it's a wise decision. It's the best decision, no doubt. But because we've been asked a lot lately about Thanksgiving breakfast. So no Thanksgiving breakfast this year, but there's lots of events and things coming up for Christmas and the holidays. And so the next few weeks you'll be hearing a lot about that. But no Thanksgiving
and you can keep up to date on all the upcoming events on your app.
On the app.
So
hey, you can even give to the church through that.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I
probably should have mentioned that as well.
Your tithing or whatever, you can do it. If you're comfortable doing it electronically and online, it's all secure and things like that.
And you can set up recurring. You can do we're accepting debit and credit cards now, so you don't have to put in your bank account information if you don't want to.
That's the way I do it. It's very convenient, and I feel very secure and safe doing it. So.
And we appreciate you giving us that Bitcoin that you gave us too.
Yeah, I don't have much, but what I have.
Somebody left a couple of live chickens in my office. I don't know.
Chicken. Oh yeah.
Lunch.
Well, guys, thanks for podcasting with me. And thanks to all of you out there in the world for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram at Northside Now Podcast. Go to our website, northsidejackson.com, or email us at podcast@northsidejackson.com. We hope to hear from you soon. Once again, this is Patrick.
This is Glenn.
I'm Kevin.
And that's what's happening at Northside Now.
Bye-bye.